Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't usually get to do these type of videos very often, so I really want to try to do a little bit more on this and kind of show exactly what's the men's world and kind of what we're going through in society, and kind of a little show about the nature or the type of what women do in current modern day. A lot of people have been seeing that. Men are the problem, and it seems like it's not really the case. Seems like men are being more lonely than usual. Men are also are usually don't have sex or are virgins between pretty much from teenager to 29, and women are doing great either because they're not prospering in this new free society, I guess you could say, in terms of what they're doing. But we're not talking about women today. We're talking about men, and this is what needs to be talked about. Because normally, when men try to talk about anything in their day-to-day lives, feminists would like to shatter them down and bring them down. And I would say that feminists are probably the most miserable type of people on the planet because they can't get what they want. However, we have this statistic. We have this here: the rise of lonely single men. And this is not really too much of a surprise because we kind of known this is happening. There is the 80-20 rule, which 80% or 80 to 100% of women find about majority of men, or 20% majority of men unattractive. So that being said, you're really not doing so hot here in terms of trying to find a woman. However, I would always say don't try to better yourself for a female or anybody for that matter. Better yourself because you want to better yourself, not because of not because so you can date someone. You're not gonna have any progress or any great success that way, and it's just going to be a completely terrible spiral. I would also say marriage is not really the greatest idea to do. Dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. Yes, which the relationship standards are governed by the women, by the way. Just putting that out there. Women dictate the relationship standards, and women are kind of diminishing their type of dateability, because normally when you go around and sleep around consistently where you're getting all kinds of huge body count, that's not seeming very attractive to men at all. So when you start getting a huge body count, you're not being able to pair up on as well. You'll be more likely to cheat and stuff like that. So that's the reason why men don't really like high body count women, which that seems to be going down. Seems to be on the rise more and more lately. Men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for matches. Men need to address skills deficits to meet healthy relationships expectations. No, they don't. They don't need to address anything. The women need to stop being bloody lunatics and having their standards so goddamn high. Because as I said, the 80-20 rule, that's actually a thing. And I have to say, women are the cause of their pretty much the downfall of themselves. Because whenever they got this free liberty and stuff, and they started getting up body counts and all this stuff, they didn't really help them, and it's not really helping them in the long run. And they're also being told that they can be promiscuous and stuff like that, and start an OnlyFans account, which again men don't find attractive at all, and they don't want their women being out there, selling themselves essentially, unless they're simps, of course, and that's a different story. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. This is not my typical rosy view of relationships, but a reality nonetheless. Over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people, mostly happening around the sexual revolution, which was around the 1970s when women got their freedoms and that sexual revolution. So therefore, that's kind of when it started going down. Kind of funny on how that's been working. And while you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. I'd say men and women are happier when they are partnered. It's not just men, but I digress. Here are three broad trends in the relationship landscape that suggest heterosexual men are in for a rough road ahead. Dating apps. Whether you're just starting to date or you're recently divorced and dating again, dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connections in the United States. I would say it's a huge romantic driver in most first world countries in general. So, I don't think it's just the United States. The other problem is that upwards of 62% of users are men, and many women are overwhelmed with how many options they have. Sure, I guess you could say that, but I'm going to tell you the majority of women are not picking those average type of men. They're picking, the 1% of men, which have a lot of this money, which they're delusion to think that every man has this type of, that's making this 300,000 plus salary. So, I digress. Competition in online dating is fierce, and lucky in-person chance encounters with dreamy partners are rarer than ever. Relationship standards. With so many options, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. I do a live TikTok show and speak with hundreds of audience members every week. I hear recurring dating themes from women between the ages of 25 and 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. No, that's a lie. Women are mostly looking for men that are good, I would say, pliers, I guess it gets. Financially stable, would be which would be the thing. You also have women, if the man is considered conservative, they don't date them, which is kind of sad, honestly, but that's the fault to the woman. And also, by the way, I would say majority of women are Democratic, and it's hard to really deal with a Democratic woman in the standards. And they end up tending being miserable to be with, honestly. So I digress. But no, it's not emotionally available. Because women don't want their men being emotionally available at all. See here, this is what they're saying that this is like, this is a flat out lie. We know they don't want women to be emotionally available. Because if that was the case, then women would not have a problem with a guy expressing his feelings. Most guys express their feelings to their other guys because the other guys understand. Well, if you express your feelings to a woman, they'll end up laughing at you, or more the case, leave you. So that's wrong. Good communicators and share similar values. Share similar values may be a thing, but again, if the woman is Democratic, they kind of get angry at any other person that's on the right anyway. So. Skill deficits. For men, this means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities, less patience for poor communication skills, and longer periods of being single. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love. Emotional connection requires all the skills that families are still not constantly teaching their young boys. While there's probably no chance of stemming the rising tide of intentional single men, there is still good news. Again, this is going back to the 80-20 rule. Women don't want majority of the men, and they find them unattractive. So when you have that problem, it's again women being stupid and selecting just the very I would say low percentage of men. Which again, that's fine. I'm not complaining about being part of the 20% of men that will be selected. That really isn't really an issue to me. I can honestly care less. But you can't really complain about it if you're going to go and say this type of stuff and, you're kind of the reason why it is the way it is. While their algorithms are becoming increasingly more complex on dating apps and other online platforms. One benefit is that great matches are on the rise. Hinge, one dating app found through beta trials that 90% of users rated their date positively, with 72% indicating wanting a second date. How can men reap the benefit of the algorithms? Level up your mental health game. That means getting into some individual therapy to address your skills gap. I like how they're actively trying to say this is mostly a men's problem, to where it's just not women at all, when it is part of the reason why it's the women's fault. This has nothing to do with the mental health of actual men at all whatsoever. I really hate this article because it's painting that men are actually the full problem and not women, when women are pretty much the reason why this is a huge issue. Now, from this to here, we have the no-fault divorce. Men normally don't want to get divorced, or normally don't want to get married because of this exact reason. Now, this is in California, but all divorces are no-fault divorces, meaning the spouse asking for divorce does not have to prove the other spouse did something wrong. Generally, the spouse who files for divorce does so because of something called irreconcilable differences. This means the two spouses just couldn't get along. So, that being said, why would any rational man, normal thinking man, want to get divorced when there is these no-fault divorces happening, right? That means they have to prove that the woman ended up cheating is the reason for the reason for that divorce. So she doesn't have to file that. Or say paternity fraud, which is up by, I want to say, 30% that men find out that their child is not theirs. So there's also that. So tell me onto why exactly a man would want to do this. Because most men end up losing a divorce. Most men end up not having the chance to get their kids. Men get their money majority of the time taken away from them because it's a 50-50 split. So you have to pretty much start back from over even regardless. It's just not worth it. It is a contract, and in today's society, I would not agree to do any type of marriage. It's stupid, it's asinine, you're killing yourself. Women also instigate 80% of divorces anyways. So, you have the no-fault divorce, and then you have the women that instigate 80% of the divorces. Why in the hell would you get married? In fact, it increases to around 90% if the woman's more educated. So tell me on to why men would want to, why would men want to get into a relationship that is, married, for that matter. Again, this is the fault to women, not necessarily the fault of men here. Again, we also have men that also attribute to this, which is the simps, because the simps are also a huge problem as well. They're not really people. But again, I digress. And that even goes to say that why problematic men are more likely to divorce. And we have all this stuff here, where they're more likely to divorce men, and then 3 reasons why women initiate divorce more often than men. And then we have here, as I said, in fact, nearly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. This is according to a 2015 research study conducted by the American Sociological Association, which suggests 2/3 of all divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, this number jumps to 90%. And it also goes down to say, which I have somebody that I know that is going through a very similar process to where she's ended up making more money than him, and it's going to lead down to a divorce among many other things because it's just not good. Women don't tolerate consistent unacceptable behavior. No, that is not really the case here, but I digress. There are bigger issues at fault here than the world meets the eye. I'm telling you all that men have issues and nobody really cares, and we as men need to build ourselves up. As soon as we exit society and we stop doing this type of stuff, society will fall. And I would say it's majority because of the women. Because the women decide to have these high standards and all that. And obviously, we don't have a problem with it, but there's not enough of those men to go around. Apparently, a majority of women want men that want to have like $100,000 a year on average, which is not normally the case for a majority of men. So there's that. So there's just so many things that goes on that the people are not realizing. But again, people want to say it's what do you call it? People want to say it's religion. It's not religion. It's definitely not religion. So get that type of crap out of here. Again, Men are realizing on how corrupt and how bad the system is. Men are realizing how bad the divorce is. Men have created spaces for themselves because they laugh at. And when women go into men's spaces, for some apparent reason, it ends up being incredibly sexual for no bloody reason. Remember when we had gaming? Yeah, gaming used to not be sexual, now it is. For whatever reason, because women decided to enter the fray, and when they did, they made it sexual. Go look at Twitch. Perfectly good example. Twitch is mostly meant for gaming, and then when women entered the fray, it became very, very sexual. You can't make this shit up. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.